All right, how are we doing, everybody? We are back. I am Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Sun is shining, everybody's out playing tennis, and pain is starting to come on. So what is tennis elbow? Why does it hurt? What do we gotta do once we get it? So one of the things that people often overlook with tennis elbow is the fact that it involves the entire arm. So when you're talking about tennis elbow, you're talking about pain here on the outside of the elbow. A lot of times you're gonna have a really specific point of tenderness, could radiate down all the way through your hand, but most of the time your pain's gonna be right, you're gonna have a specific point of pain. Now on the inside of the elbow, that's golfer's elbow, different. This is tennis elbow. So this is when you feel pain on the outside of that elbow. What you want to make sure you are aware of is any type of elbow or wrist pain, you want to look at the shoulder too, because the shoulder often has weakness that is going on, and because of that weakness, your grip has to work harder, your elbow has to work harder in order to make up for that weakness. We're not going to go into all of that right now because this is just more of a stretches you can do for tennis elbow video, but you just want to make sure that a lot of times people buy these wristbands, or they'll put tape on there and or take a lot of ibuprofen and think that's just going to solve the problem, and the problem becomes chronic, meaning it doesn't really ever go away. You always have to have this wristband, it acts up, and so on and so forth. What you want to be aware of is the fact that most of the times if you don't address problems at your shoulder, then you're never going to get rid of this tennis elbow or golfer's elbow for the same thing. So just make sure that you understand. Now I'm going to show you some stretches, but there's a lot that goes on with the elbow. Shoulder could be affecting it. Just be aware of that. So when you're talking about tennis elbow, again, you're talking about pain on the outside. So that's it could be a number of things besides tennis elbow, so you want to make sure that you are addressing everything that could be going on. But there's a couple of stretches that you can do right in the comfort of your own home to help alleviate some of that. So the first one is you're going to take your hand, your palm facing down, and you're going to just drop your hand in. You want to make sure that your elbow is straight and your shoulder is relaxed. You don't want to be here or here. So you just want to be nice and straight, palm down, bend your wrist. You don't feel anything? Great. Then you're going to start to apply some pressure. And your arm could be down here, it doesn't matter. But you're going to start to bend that wrist a little bit more. Now if you don't feel anything, you don't feel a stretch, chances are this is not tennis elbow. There's something else going on because these are usually the muscles that are tight when you're talking about tennis elbow. A lot of times people will now switch the stretch around and have the palm facing up just to kind of get another stretch on the other side. It's not stretching the exact muscles, but it can feel a little bit good. But all you want to do is hold this 30 seconds, and you want to do this 6 times. You can do this all day long. So if you're suffering from tennis elbow, you know it can be extremely painful. You know it can be affecting how you write, how you grip, your strength. So you want to make sure that you're doing this consistently. If you have numbness and tingling in your fingers, that's not tennis elbow. Something else is going on. So please be aware that numbness and tingling is not a byproduct of tennis elbow. So you have something much greater going on, maybe coming from the neck, coming from the shoulder. We need to figure out where it's coming from in order to be able to treat it effectively. But numbness and tingling is not a symptom that is in conjunction with tennis elbow. So you've got this stretch. Another thing that you can do is you can actually massage it. So what you want to do is take your fingers and you're going to go this way across the muscle. So all of these muscles are running down your arm like this. You want to take your fingers and you want to go across the muscle like this. Now you want to push as hard as you can tolerate. If you have tennis elbow that's pretty severe, you're not going to be able to push very hard at all. You want to work your way all the way up to that point, right where you feel the most pain. Come off of it a little bit and then just work your way down. Again, you don't want to do this for too long, but you can do it throughout the day. So I would just do it for a couple of minutes here and there. Work your way all the way down the muscle You can do all the muscles in the form. If you want to, you can grab a golf ball if that's easier for you, a tennis ball. Tennis ball doesn't usually get very well into that area, but it is an option. But we want to make sure that we're just going right across that muscle, pushing as hard as you can tolerate, and then back down. Try not to have somebody else do this unless they are a trained professional, because you can actually aggravate this severely. So you don't just want to close your eyes and be like, just push on it as hard as you can, because you can actually irritate it and cause some tears that are unnecessary. So be aware that you want to do this to yourself or have a professional do it, so that way you're able to relieve some of that pain but not cause any damage to the muscle. The final stretch I'm going to show you is just a variation of this one. You're going to find a table about where your arm ends. So I have one that goes up and down. So this one's right where my arm ends. And you're going to put your back of your palm flat on the table, and then you're going to lean your body back. And you're going to feel a stretch in that area. Now, sometimes you're going to feel a stretch in the wrist before you feel a stretch up in here. That's fine. Hold that 30 seconds, do that 6 times. Eventually you will loosen up the muscles out here on the side. But a lot of times if you do this and then you lean back, okay, you want to make sure that your back of your palm stays flat. You don't want it coming up as you lean back. That's defeating the purpose of the stretch. You want to hold it here, keep those elbows straight, and then nice and easy, lean back. If you've got carpal tunnel, sometimes this exercise, or if you have any wrist issues, if you have numbness and tingling, this can be a bit aggressive, so you don't want to do that. Not a problem. You can just kind of hold off and do this one, and then do the cross friction massage. You want to make sure that you are icing every day with this. If you have that pain, you have that point tenderness, ice is going to be really beneficial. 10 minutes at the end of the day. If you're choosing between heat and ice, do ice. If you're going to do both, do heat, do some massage, and then do ice. Just make sure that ice is a part of what you're doing at home. But again, if you have tennis elbow, it's really important to figure out where that's coming from. Is it a wrist issue? Is it a shoulder issue? Otherwise, it's just going to become chronic, and you're never going to be able to get rid of it because you never addressed why you actually had it in the first place. If you are suffering with tennis elbow and want a free consultation with one of our doctors of physical therapy, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898, and we'd be happy to get you in. Thanks, and have a good night.